Hello class, I'm Professor Johnson and welcome to Bio 111. As you may have heard, there's some sort of an eclipse going on Monday, so we will not actually be meeting for class. So I'm providing this video that will go over what we would normally go over in class the first day of school. So anyway, welcome to Bio 111. Let's just start with some of the basics. So who am I? I'm Professor Johnson. You can see my contact information over here on the screen. You can get a hold of me via email or by using my office phone number. My office is in Science 108. That means that I'm on the lower level of the science building. If you were to actually go to the south hallway, I would be over by the bathrooms. I'm not directly across from them, but I'm pretty close. My office hours, so you can look and see when my office hours. I should be in my office to help you with any sort of questions that you have. However, just view these office hours as suggestions. They don't necessarily need to come by only when I'm holding office hours. I'm glad to meet with you any time of the day. If it looks like I'm busy, just knock on my door, ask. Either I'll drop what I'm doing if I can, or if I can't actually stop and help you at that moment, I will gladly try and come up with a plan of meeting with you later. All right, so what are we going to talk about in Bio 111? Well, we're going to start with the most basic fundamentals, meaning that we're going to start with the process of science. There's going to be some other videos that I want you to watch related to that here shortly. So we're going to start with that. After that, we need to move on to some basic biochemistry. So everything in Bio 111 is dealing with the micro level of biology. We're looking at things such as molecules and cells, and it's important to understand some basic biochemistry with this. We're also going to look at some cell biology, looking at cell division, looking at the functions of the cellular organelles, and really looking at how cells communicate. With bioenergetics, we're looking at the flow of energy in living systems. So this is primarily going to concern us with cellular respiration and photosynthesis. We're also going to look at genetics with classical Mendelian genetics, as well as some more advanced topics. We'll finish it up looking at molecular biology, which has to do with DNA, its structure, and how it actually functions in the cell. So it's very closely related to genetics, but looking more at the molecular aspect of it. So my class is organized in a flipped classroom approach. If you're not familiar with this, this means that you are going to be gathering information outside of class. So I don't lecture to you in the traditional sense where I stand in front of you for an hour and you're writing furiously in your notebooks trying to take down every single thing that I say, send you off with homework then, which you then do, and then you take the exam. The flipped approach actually requires you to access information beforehand. So I'm going to give you videos and readings that I want you to perform to actually do before class. So how this is going to look, so I assign the reading and video prior to class. There will be homework associated with these readings that I want you to complete as well. Now I plan on looking at this homework once it's been completed. I also will mention that the homework you submit online, and you'll have as many chances as you want to score as high as you want on that homework until it is due. Typically, I'm going to make the due date the evening before class, so your first homework is going to be due Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. Now, the next morning, I'm going to look at this homework and see if there's anything that you're really missing the base on, either due to me not going into it in enough detail, or if it's just a widespread misunderstanding that I want to clear up. We'll also be doing some activities that help us build on this information in class and then really hopefully master it. After class then, you will have additional assignments that I want you to complete that is going to help you arrest forgetting so that you remember this come quiz and exam time, and then also master these material. The homework, again, you will be able to complete it until you, as long as it's before the due date, you can do the homework as many times as you want until you score the score that you would like to on the homework. Now, why do I do this instead of just doing a traditional lecture? Well, I put these two graphs on here to really illustrate my reasoning for this. So this first one comes from an article by Scott Freeman in PNAS. This is a very reputable journal where a lot of research is in a lot of broad areas is published. And he showed by taking a look at many different studies that incorporated active learning, which is what I do when I do the flipped classroom approach, see a much greater decrease in the failure rate. So if we look at this graph, on the x-axis we have the percent change in failure rate with the active learning, and on this axis we're looking at the number of studies. So only a very small number of studies have actually shown to have an increase in failure rates with this approach, while most studies see a modest increase or modest decrease in failure, meaning that you're more likely to do better in the class. This is especially true for students that would normally struggle in these classes. You tend to actually see greater benefits as well. This is another study looking specifically at the flipped classroom approach, where they have the flipped classroom compared to the standard one that I have talked about. And you can see that the scores were significantly higher on all the exams that he studied in this flipped classroom approach. All right, so that's it for how this class is organized. What I want to show you now then is how you're actually going to access this information. So many of you may be familiar already with the Blackboard system. If you're not, how you access it, you go to blackboard.cune.edu. When you click on that, normally you're going to need to log in. So I logged out. You're going to need to log in with your username. This is going to be everything the same for everything that you log in. It's usually very similar to your email address, and then the password that you type in for everything else, you're going to type it in for this as well. So if I type in my password, I've typed it in. Over here you should see my courses. While it says not currently available, by the time you view this, the course will actually be available to you. So you can click on that, and then you're into the Blackboard course section for this course. So I'm going to enter student preview so that it looks more like what you will actually see. This is the student homepage. This is what you're going to see. These are some of the lovely students that took the course last year, modeling photosynthesis. So for Halloween, you had the opportunity to earn bonus points, and these individuals did a group costume of photosynthesis to earn their bonus points. So the homepage might have announcements about when things are due. Really, the material that you're going to be most concerned about is going to be over here. You can click on the syllabus. And this is going to give you a lot of information, the course goals, textbook information, etc. I'm not going to read this to you. I'm going to expect you to actually go through this yourself. You also will have access to all the labs. So you will need to bring a lab printout to every lab. This is the first one that you'll have. So lab 1, you can click on this, and you should have this pop up or download in some way. This is what you're going to need to print out. Also in the labs, you'll notice that I had additional information. I encourage you to look at this ahead of time. However, in labs, it's fine if you want to bring some sort of digital device. This information should help you with some of the labs as you go through it as well. The other area that you need to be familiar with is the pre-class material. So the pre-class material will have the material that I want you to go through every day before class actually completes. So you notice day 00. I want you to view this before we have class on Wednesday. So there's actually some important assignments in here. One thing I would like you to do is upload a picture of yourself so that this is going to help me learn your names. I really want to get to know you guys. This is going to help me be familiar with who you are, which really helps with the getting to know yourself process. Introduce yourself. So this is going to be a short survey with some questions that I want to know about you, just some introductory questions. And then there's some syllabus homework. So you will need to go through the syllabus in order to complete the syllabus homework. All of this stuff is actually due on Friday, August 25th. So you have until the end of the day at 11:59 to complete that. The other material that you'll need to complete, day one, the process of science. So I have a couple videos that I would like you to view. The first one's a little bit longer, around 20 minutes. The second one's a shorter video, right around 5 minutes. So view these videos. There is also the homework that's associated with that. So you would click on the scientific method. It's going to call it a test, but it's actually graded as homework. You can click begin then and actually work through this. And then click save and submit before it's due. It's going to say I don't have anything answered. Do that. And you can complete this homework as many times as you need to until you get it correct. Now, if you want to look at the homework before you view the videos, that's great. But I also have this pre-class study guide here that gives you an idea of what's going to be on the homework and what I want you to take away from these videos before we actually go over it in class. So that's it for the first day. Please enjoy the Eclipse. Labs are not canceled, so if you do have labs on Monday, you still need to attend those. You need to print out the lab handout for those classes as well. But aside from that, go ahead and look at this information and get it completed before Wednesday, and then I'll see you in class. All right, have a great day.